What's going on, everybody? Harrison Graham here with another episode of For Verts, a daily NFL and college football show, and it is time for our first mock draft. Going to go through the entire first round. No trades. I think on the first mock, you got to go trade free. Just kind of set a baseline, and that is what we're going to do. We'll spend more time on picks 1 through 10, and then we'll kind of ramp up 11 through 32. All right, let's dive in here. Titans on the clock at number 1. I'm going to go Cam Ward out of Miami. I think he's worth the swing over Shedeur Sanders for Tennessee or whoever takes the first quarterback. More physical tools, stronger arm. I think his game translates into more offenses, into more weather conditions. Obviously, playing in Tennessee, you're going to get a lot of indoors and southern games, so it wouldn't be as big of a deal there, but I'm going to go Cam Ward out of Miami. Okay, Browns on the clock at 2. While they certainly could use a quarterback, I don't love Shedeur's fit there because it does get cold, and I think cold weather conditions could be tricky there. But more importantly, if you're not sold on a QB here, just take Travis Hunter. He's a guy you can get excited about as a franchise. Now, we'll see if he'll play corner, receiver, both. If I was running a team, I would want him to play corner, but then on key downs, put him in as my number 3 receiver, something like that. That would be how I handle him. I also think he could be a terrific punt returner in the NFL, but you got to limit his snaps somewhere. But Travis Hunter goes 2 to Cleveland. I'll go Shedeur Sanders 3 to New York. Obviously, weather can play a role there as well. But I think it's pretty clear that Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen want to draft a quarterback. They seem to really like Sanders. And I think Cam Ward would be a better fit there. But if he's already off the clock, I'm going to go Shedeur here at number 3. Who do you guys think is the better QB prospect? CW for Cam Ward, SS for Shedeur Sanders. I think Shedeur is a B-level talent in terms of his physical gifts. I think he has an average NFL arm, but he's really accurate. He's tough. He's been hit a lot. I think Cam has a better chance of reaching a higher ceiling. And if neither are just top-of-the-line prospects, I'll take the chance on a guy who's got more upside, so give me CW. Okay, Abdul Carter to the Patriots with the number 4 pick. Safe, solid, sound. I think this is a good selection. They just need more players. Vrabel there, tough guy. Go defense here at number 4. Okay, 5th pick with the Jags. Maybe a bit of a surprise. I'm going to go Will Campbell. They obviously traded their left tackle, Cam Robinson, in the middle of the season to Minnesota. I know they got Walker Little there and all that stuff, but I think you got to go O-line here, protect Trevor. I just said Vrabel, defensive coach, New England. Liam Cohen, offensive coach, Jacksonville. You got to get Trevor Lawrence going, so protect him, keep him upright. Campbell can play tackle or guard. I think he's a good fit here. If you want more NFL draft videos, prove it to us. This is our first mock draft or really draft video of any kind here on this channel. So I'll tell you what, if we get 50 or more subscribers on today's show, that is a guarantee that we will do a draft video by next week at the latest. If not, maybe we'll wait a little bit longer. Maybe you guys don't want draft content. Prove it to us. More mock drafts, draft art videos, Senior Bowl reaction perhaps. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, keep it rolling here. The Raiders, I think this is the best value pick so far. Defensive tackle Mason Graham out of Michigan, number 6 pick here. What did Pete Carroll say at the presser yesterday? We want to run the ball and play defense. Feels archaic, but that's what he believes in. Support the quarterback, but not necessarily feel like you have to be this high-flying offense. And look, for the Raiders right now, that actually makes sense because they don't really have a path to a top-tier quarterback. Get a guy like Mason Graham who can anchor that defensive line and help out your defense. Okay, number 7 here, another Michigan man, Will Johnson. Who's their head coach with the New York Jets? Oh, that would be Aaron Glenn. What position did he play? Corner. What could they use because DJ Reed's free agent? Corner. They could use a lot in the Jets. But Will Johnson, get him in that secondary. Aaron Glenn coaches him up. I like this value with the number 7 pick. Carolina on the board at number 8. This is like a no-brainer to me. Get Bryce Young, another big-time weapon. He finished the year strong. To me, you give him all of next year to prove he can be the guy. Tetairoa McMillan, who's used to playing with an undersized quarterback in college, and Noah Fafita, big catch radius, big-time player on the outside. Pair him with Bryce Young. He's got wide receiver 1 potential. With the number 9 pick, the Saints select Michael Williams. They might have to release Cam Jordan. Their defensive line is kind of going through a transition here. Williams, big, long defensive end. That's what Dennis Allen liked historically. Obviously, he's not there anymore, so we'll see if that ends up being the status quo. As we're filming this on Tuesday, the Saints have yet to hire a head coach, so we'll see what their strategies are. But I think Williams has a massive upside in this NFL draft. At number 10, I got the Bears selecting Tyler Booker, the Alabama offensive guard. I think it's probably a little early for a guard, but then I'm reading up on Daniel Jeremiah, and he says, yeah, he's very good, and people in that program call him the Will Anderson of their offensive line. That's pretty appealing to me. Will Anderson translated right away for the Texans on the defense. Bears need guard help tremendously. Add Tyler Booker. Even if it's safe and even if it's a tick early, like his floor is going to be pretty high here. Well, who is your favorite 2025 NFL draft prospect? Drop a name for us in the comment section down below and let us know. Okay, we'll go a little more rapid fire here. 49ers got to start investing more in the offensive line. Trent Williams is getting older. Kelvin Banks, kind of like Will Campbell, could play tackle, could play guard, plug and play. He'll be a starter on that offensive line. Okay, Luther Burden III. I think Dallas needs a number 2 receiver next to CeeDee Lamb. Get Dak Prescott, who they're clearly all in on. Another weapon. Brian Schottenheimer taking over as head coach. I like this fit. Malachi Starks. If I'm Miami, I'm letting Javon Holland walk. He regressed this year. He's going to cost a lot of money in free agency. Starks can play nickel. He can play safety, do-it-all type of player. Like to see what he can do with Anthony Weaver calling that defense. Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State. If you're going to give Anthony Richardson another year, which I expect the Colts to do, can we get him a safety net? I mean, he's such a just go-for-broke quarterback. Tyler Warren can be a guy that can just get him easy completions. I like this fit in Indianapolis, and they've always had good tight ends over the years, but it's been a few years. Okay, Mike Green, who is at the Senior Bowl this week. He's getting a lot of attention. Little undersized, especially with his arm length, but I think in Raheem Morris's scheme, it works. They need more pass rush production. Obviously, they tried to trade for, completely blanking on the guy from the Patriots from last year, Matt Judon. Thank you, producer Cullen. He's probably going to walk in free agency, so get Mike Green in there. He could certainly help. Okay, 16 here, Arizona, another edge rusher, James Pierce Jr. Coming into the year, he was a top 5 guy. Had an up-and-down year, missed a few games. I still like his talent a lot. He's a great pass rusher, kind of an average defender, but I think in Arizona's 3-4 Jonathan Gannon scheme, I think he's a good fit. Emeka Egbuka. I know Joe Burrow is pushing for T. Higgins to be back, but the way the Bengals operate historically, paying him and Jamar Chase in the same offseason, I'd be surprised. I think Higgins walks or they tag and trade him, and Egbuka could be a guy you pair with Jamar Chase. Jalen Walker, who's kind of just a creative player. He can play off-ball linebacker. He can play edge. I like that type of guy with Mike McDonald, who is one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. At some point, Seattle's going to have to go quarterback, but this is not that time. I don't think there's someone you pull the trigger on here. I like the fit with Jalen Walker. Nick Scorton, the edge out of Texas A&M, goes to Tampa Bay. Long, athletic, seems to fit the Todd Bowles mold. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, he goes off the board here to Denver. I think when you look at Bo Nix's rookie season, it's even more impressive considering they had inconsistent play at running back. You plug in Jeanty into that offense. He's got some similarities to Alvin Kamara, a player that Sean Payton had for a long time as well, except for he's a little more of a bruiser also as a runner, but he can catch the ball like Kamara, just didn't get to do it a ton this year at Boise. Get Bo Nix a guy that he can just hand the ball off to and feel good about. Okay, 21 here. Steelers, Matthew Golden, he's a fast riser out of Texas. Pittsburgh's got to get another receiver. Is George Pickens there long-term? Even if he's there this year, are they giving him a second contract? That seems rich at this point. So get someone in there. Golden, I think, could be a number 2 opposite of Pickens this year, and then maybe long-term he could be their 1. At nothing else, he at least gives them another player that's got talent on the outside. Kenneth Grant, number 22 to the Chargers. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan guy. I considered Colson Loveland here as well. They could get a tight end. I didn't really like the receivers on the board here at 22, so I went elsewhere. You put Grant in the middle of that defensive line. I like that fit. All right, Packers at 23. Siobhan Reeves Jr., or Ravel Jr., the corner out of East Carolina. He's getting the classic lazy Quinyon Mitchell comps, like small school, first-round talent at corner, but he's as advertised. He's very, very good. And Jair Alexander's future is bleak in Green Bay. He could be gone after or this offseason, so they may have to draft his replacement. Benjamin Morrison, the corner out of Notre Dame. Minnesota's going to need to add a piece of that secondary as well. They've got both their starting corners hitting free agency, Stephon Gilmore and blanking on the other guy now. Byron Murphy. Thank you again, producer Colin. They're probably not going to bring both back. I would guess they pay Byron Murphy, let Gilmore walk. Morrison can come in, be your number 2 outside guy. You're good to go. Josh Connerly Jr., keep an eye on this guy. I think he's going to keep rising. In fact, if I was a betting man, I don't think he's even available here once the actual draft gets here. Tackle out of Oregon. A lot of scouts like what he brings to the table. Now, he played mostly left tackle at Oregon. Obviously, they've got Laramie Tunsil. I did not like how Titus Howard played this year at all, though, so I think you could flip him to the right side. Maybe you kick him inside to guard for a year or two, but talented player. I think he'll go pretty high. Jahdae Barron, I love this fit with the Rams. He does a lot of different things. He can play nickel. He can play corner. You can put him at safety. The Rams need secondary help. Barron can play multiple spots, like that fit quite a bit. Ravens select Josh Simmons, the offensive tackle out of Ohio State. Did have a knee surgery in October, so we'll see what his medical status is once the combine gets here. But I think there's probably a 50-50 chance they let Ronnie Stanley walk in free agency, and if they do, I think drafting his replacement in Simmons, Connerly, one of these tackles, makes a whole lot of sense. Lions select defensive tackle Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State at 28. A lot of their defensive guys went down last year. You get those guys back, and Hutchinson especially, put Williams next to him. I like that piece up front. There goes Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan, to the Commanders. Zach Ertz says he wants to keep playing, but even if he does, I mean, he's going to start slowing down eventually. I think you get another tight end in there because the rest of that room wasn't very good. Give Jaden Daniels another weapon. Nick Emenwari out of South Carolina, the safety to Buffalo. Listen, DeMar Hamlin's a great story, but he's a better story than a player. He should be a number 3 safety, especially for a high-level contender. Emenwari is a stud. 6'3", 225, can run like a deer, can hit like a linebacker. You put him back there on the back end, I like that fit with Buffalo quite a bit. And then 31 and 32, the Eagles select Cameron Williams, the offensive tackle out of Texas. Still a little bit raw. He probably needs a year, but I kind of love the fit. Make him your swing tackle as a rookie, and then by the next year, Lane Johnson could be done. He's kind of year to year at this point. So hopefully Lane comes back for another year. Williams can sit for a year behind him and learn. And then Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle out of Ole Miss, goes to the Chiefs at 32. Chris Jones isn't getting any younger. That other defensive tackle spot has kind of just been, Derek Nottie, Tershawn Wharton, and, cycling guys in and out. Nolan could be a guy that could give you some reps there as well. And also you can lower Chris Jones' snap count, kind of like what they've done with Kelsey on the offense to extend his career. All right, there you have it. Mock Draft 1.0. Let us know how we did in the comments, A, B, C, D, or F. And again, subscribe to the channel if you want more draft videos. Prove it by hitting that subscribe button. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.